Welcome once again to the Nexus Gaming Series. I am your host, DB Smiley, as the epic music is slowly brought to a close. A little bit of an audible called. We were going to cover American Specialists versus Triton Heroes. We have switched up to Drop Dead Gorgeous versus Game Freak. So moving on to Division B West. Both these teams kind of in the 5-6 slot. So both of these teams trying to battle to get up into the top four to get into the playoffs for Division B. In Division B, only the top four teams in the West and the top four in the East go to the playoffs. So a lot of pressure on both these teams to perform. This game, very, very important to that. So we're going to just jump right in. Tomb of the Spider Queen, Drop Dead Gorgeous on the left, Game Freaks on the right. As far as Drop Dead Gorgeous, they're a veteran team. They've been in NGS. They were in NGS last season. Very, very successful Division B team. So just you know, doing the best they can to kind of keep themselves in there. Division B West though has proven to be rather strong this season, as we do see the ETC ban, very high priority pick on this map. Not too surprised to see it come out. Right now, excuse me, I said 5-6. They're actually at 6 and 7. So Drop Dead Gorgeous has 5 points, although that is with the scoreboard only through 2 weeks, and they have not had their games go up yet this week. So I don't know how they did in their first set against Amazing. But they've actually only played 3 sets, whereas most teams have now played 5, at least according to the scoreboard. Amazing, though, was undefeated, so if they won that, it would be interesting. I can try to look into that during the draft here. But Genji ban on the side. Meanwhile, Game Freaks, also 3 games, 1-1 and 1. That is 1 win, 1 draw, and 1 loss. It'll be interesting to see kind of, which of these teams can rise, because both of them very much in a position to be able to fight to get to playoffs. They're actually doing pretty well overall. Still outside the playoffs looking in. Chromie pick right out of the gate. It's a very surprising pick this early. It might be something highly contested, or they're playing something that they knew they were going to play anyway, just to see how they can build the rest of the draft. Chromie, this is one of the maps she's very strong on. There's a lot of good choke points. Wave clear is very important, so her Dragon's Breath helps out with that. We're going to see Hanzo Greymane, so very meta DPS choices there. Hanzo Greymane, going to give them a lot of poke potential, but a lot of kill potential with Dragon's Arrow, with Cocktail, with potentially go for the throat onto the Chromie. It's a good combo here in draft. As we looking for these games, so we did see Amazing and Drop Dead Gorgeous. Amazing did win that round, 2-0. So Amazing is actually 4 wins. So Drop Dead was their first loss of the season. They're at 1 win, 2 draws, and now 1 loss. This being their 5th game of the year. Lucio, Joanna. So Joanna actually compare well with the Chromie. And the Lucia is going to help with the fact that sometimes Joanna can struggle to engage a little bit. Going to help push that up. Maybe make something more happen there. I'm trying to look to see if Game Freak has played their other game this week. So far, I'm not seeing it. Who did they? Divine 9, and it was a... Oh, no, that was wrong week. Actually, this is Game Freak's only game this week. And yeah, so this is actually the 2nd week that Game Freak has only played 1 team. Interesting. But either way, in this situation, big game for both teams. We do see the Mathael ban come in. Could suggest they're going to move to a double warrior to try to combat this Chromie poke. Get two big bodies up there. Could lead to something like a Stukov healer who can actually deal with Chromie poke rather nicely when you get down to it. We'll have to see here. Sonya Ban being hovered would make sense. It'd be a very aggressive comp, and Sonya does get a bit countered by Joanna, but a very strong solo laner. Though Greymane and Hanzo can both do decent in the solo lane, you'd probably expect to see some kind of warrior type. Be interesting to see where Game Freak goes with these two picks. Hanzo, Greymane, gonna be on the right. What are they going to be paired with? They don't have to pick their support right now. Although I do think they need to pick a tank. And I'm trying to think who that tank could be. Muradin would not be an awful option. Muradin could proc off a lot of combos with a good Stormbolt. Could also see, perhaps... I mean, I don't really like Arthas, but a Nubarak could work. I mean, I wouldn't even mind seeing both Muradin and a Nubarak. Well. He shoots, he scores. Alright. There we go. I called it. Okay. Draft Gaud. So now you gotta think, alright, you need a solo laner that can really potentially abuse the Greymane in lane. Something that can out-wave clear him and make it hard for him to poke easily. I think a Ragnaros could actually be that pick. And I think if you got something like Ragnaros, it could be strong into the Anubarak. And then pair that up with... I mean, really with Joanna, you could have a Ragnaros be the second frontliner and Joe would be fine. Pair that up with something like... maybe even a Gul'dan could work. Just to... No, not a Gul'dan. Sorry, they already have Chromie. They need something that's sustainy, though. Although I think Rag could fill that. Could be interesting. Tychus, Leoric. Okay, so Tychus is going to deal with the tanks. Leoric's going to be the solo laner. It's a good solo lane pick into Greymane. Greymane can chunk Leoric a bit, though. So it's going to come down to playing carefully. The support that comes out, I would want Stukov a lot. I think Stukov would be a brilliant choice here. Malfurion could also work, although Tychus would be able to potentially burst down Muradin before Malf could heal him back up, but it would help deal with the Chromie poke. But I think Stukov is just the better choice. I don't really like Alex. I mean, they don't have much dive, but just until level 7, Alex would have a hard time. Yep, it is going to be the Stukov. So I am in the head of Game Freaks. As, interesting draft here. Very, very interesting draft. You know, looking at these teams, I'm going to just assume that player-wise they're relatively even. I really like, for this map, the draft out of Drop Dead Gorgeous. The draft on the right from Game Freak is kind of a general draft that on any map I'd expect to see it. I mean, that would be a great, like, Battlefield Return map. On the left, it is very much this is a Tomb of the Spider Queen map. So you have the Chromie for the poking. You have Joanna to be the gem slave, who's just going to carry gems all the time. Lucio, going to be able to, you know, help deny kind of the burst engagements with a good sound barrier. You have Leoric, who can just, you know, if needed, Leoric can die just to zone the enemy team off. And then come back quickly. Gives good wave clear. I really like this. So, edge on draft, I'm going to go Drop Dead. But we shall see. Hopefully we don't have any DCs here in the loading screen. Zombie Chris. Gonna be playing that Hanzo. He'll be a big part of this this comp. He'll kind of help contribute to how far it goes. Let's see. But loading is mostly done. Still a couple AOL users. But here we go. Gonna kick it into the game. Gonna start over here on the left. On the left, it is Drop Dead. Gorgeous. With the comma. Very important. Unitas gonna be on Lucio. Chaos with the legendary taunt onto Chromie. Pugs Not Drugs gonna be on Leoric. Trent gonna be on Tychus. And Gilda going to be on that Joanna. And over on the right, you know him, you love him, Game Freaks. Trying to come out here, trying to show what they can do. We're gonna have Zombie Chris on Hanzo, Sechel going to be on Muradin, Fabre going to be on Greymane, Big Wiz on Anubarak, and Mayog going to be on the Stukov. As these two teams head towards each other, towards the middle name, towards glory, towards battle, towards their slowing down their minion wave. Interesting strat. You know, this is a common map for it. It baits the minion wave out further in towards a Chromie poke. They moved the center a decent amount, and then you have, of course, Condemn into Dragon's Breath, and the wave is just simply gone. Chromie already trying to poke up a bit as we accidentally hovered over a thing. Let me get the minion. There we go. Okay, we're clear. And already, just this wave clear is so strong with the Condemn into Dragon Breath on the side of Drop Dead Gorgeous. And already pressuring in on the lane a bit. It is going to be Hanzo against Leoric. Now, Leoric doesn't always deal particularly well into Hyper Poke. But the 4-man is already going so strong in Drop Dead Gorgeous's favor. Excuse me. Favor that I'm not overly worried. And they're doing a good job of making sure Joanna gets the gems. It's just great because Joanna doesn't die. Looking at the talents now, we are seeing the Time Walker's Pursuit. So going with the gems, should be able to stack that real quick. Already, Stukov Tychus, or excuse me, Lucio Tychus, gonna work down this Bruiser camp, get even more pressure. You know, you just need Joanna Chromie to clear these lanes, and it's going exactly as they expected. Leoric holding in the bottom, not really winning, but not really losing, although Zombie Chris getting quite a healthy dose of poke damage there. Bruiser camp, though, now picked up. Here comes the rotation. Gonna be able to push up here. Here comes Chromie. Good chunk onto the back on Fabre. There's the Condemn. Big Wiz taking some poke. Here comes Sechel now rotating in. They're gonna have to deal with this Bruiser, and it looks like Drop Dead Gorgeous wants to poke up Fabre. Jumping in with the Dark Flight, but here comes the Condemn. Fabre may have made a... Ooh, Fabre making a careless misstep there. Gonna go down to just all that chase. Dark Flight in was kind of optimistic. No real chance at securing a kill. And now with this spell damage, we're seeing Chromie and Lucio step up. Tychus clearing the top lane. They're keeping ahead on XP. They do have their level 4s now. Neo Peasants being taken by Leoric. So the wave clear on the side of Drop Dead is just going to be astounding. And on this map, that's enough to win. Looking the other way, seeing the continuation of the cocktail build, as well as the one good spread from Stukov. Always a fantastic talent. Gilda dropping the 24 in. Big Wiz. Ooh, Big Wiz is in a very bad spot and going to get taken down through the burrow charge damage. Big Wiz poking in there, walked into a time trap. Team set up very well to punish, even with the burrow charge. And things going very well for Drop Dead Gorgeous right out of the gate here. Pugs Not Drugs currently not winning the bot lane into Hanzo, just having trouble dealing with all the poke damage Hanzo can put out. And that's going to be 15 gems. It's going to be very hard to turn in. But luckily, you know, they're still working middle, still doing very well there. Although there was a good silence. Iron Skin has to be blown for Joanna. Keep yourself alive. Here comes the rotation from Pugs Not Drugs. Zombie Chris onto the back line as well. No real threat of death there. A little bit to Joanna, but she managed to get out of silence and Iron Skin. It worked out rather nicely here. Silence now onto Lucio. That could be a good target. Still Hanzo and Sechel on the bottom. But ooh, Sechel coming in onto Trent. Trent having to back away. But now this puts... Ooh, here comes the big Condemn into the Dragon's Breath. Fabre taking a lot of damage. But no one dropping. Both teams with a ton of sustain with Lucio, with Stukov, dealing with the poke. Now they're going to try to defend Pugs Not Drugs, get him a turn in. There comes the Stormbolt. That's the first interrupt. Hanzo manages... Hanzo could turn in the bottom. Hasn't done so yet, despite carrying 18. This is 5v4 in the mid. Hanzo is not with this, so Pugs Not Drugs will eventually get this turn in. And here it comes, and that will not kick off the Spiderwave just yet, but if the Lucio can get those 3 in, good Stormbolt steal by Unitas, making sure the gems got started. And that's a big advantage for Drop Dead Gorgeous. They were so far ahead in XP, they could give up that soak in the bottom for a bit just to make sure that they got that first spider phase. But now heavy rotation coming down onto the bottom. Spiders coming in. We're going to see what kind of push potential. They are choosing the bottom lane with Pugs Not Drugs up in the top. Looks like they're just trying to get wall value. As here we see now with level 8, they're pushing in. Equal talent tier, but Leoric just kind of rotating right now. So, bottom lane's an interesting lane. It's actually probably the weakest lane. Ooh, there's a temporal loop onto Zombie Chris, who's already blown his agility, and now he's in so much trouble. Muradin doing a good job sapping up shots. Mayog dropping to silence, trying to get Zombie Chris out, but Zombie Chris gonna go down to the condemn as... Ooh. That is not good. Hanzo dropping there. This fort will definitely fall, and now the chase is on trying to get onto Muradin. There's the big condemn, but Gilda a little bit low. Seichel could drop. Seichel below 100 health, but doesn't die. Anubarak potentially looking for the flank. There's the spines. Meanwhile, Leoric in the middle. Now we're seeing Pugs Not Drugs. Wraith walking on out there, spooky, spooky ghost, but here comes the silence. It's really starting to get Gelda a bit low on that Joanna. Big Wiz now coming in with the flank onto Chromie on the back line. Here comes Greymane as well. Need to be a bit careful though because level 10s have been picked up. Here comes the Condemn. Now there's the Bless Shield trying to lock in on the Greymane, but Chaos not on the same page as Gelda there, missing that combo that definitely could have killed Greymane, but a huge level advantage. Picking up those keep turrets is just massive. You know, they're worth more than a fort. Now it's a 2-level lead. Not even level 10s yet on the side of Game Freak. So Drop Dead Gorgeous could potentially abuse for a bit. They could get a double turn-in. They're not far. They need about 8 more gems. Game Freaks, if Muradin can get a turn-in, they will have it. So they just need to let Muradin turn in his 50. And it looks like that's where it's going. Muradin going to try to turn in. Here comes Pugs Not Drugs, scouting it out. Stormbolt coming in. Muradin denying Pugs Not Drugs at least the W. Meanwhile, Bot Siege picked up. Gonna pressure that keep. Chase is on to Fabre there. They need to keep an eye on Seichel. Seichel looking like he's going to try to rotate down to bot away. Tychus should scout this out. Should be able to get the interrupt. Trent doing a good pause there just to interrupt. There's the there's the time trap. Gonna have to dwarf toss out over the wall now. And so this is very good goalkeeping by Drop Dead Gorgeous. They're not letting... They know who the target is. It's Muradin. He's the threat. He has to turn in. They don't have enough. They only have 42 gems without Muradin. So if anyone else turns in, it doesn't matter. So all they have to do is just keep shadowing Muradin, not letting him get the turn in. You know, Greymane's going to get a turn here, actually going to get interrupted, taking quite a bit of damage. There's the Dragon Arrow, stunning only Pugs Not Drugs. Here comes level 10 into level 11. Bless Shield collecting 3. There's the Flailing Swipe, trying to get Tychus out. Tychus blowing the Odin, and there's the Sound Barrier, making sure that Tychus can actually start chunking out some damage. Temporal Loop onto Anubarak, gonna drop before it can kick. That's the first kill of the fight, and now the chase on Zombie Chris in a bad position. Condemn barely gonna miss, but it's still gonna be enough for Trent to get the kill, and that is huge for Drop Dead Gorgeous, as now they're going to be able to snowball this, a second spiderweb, and look how pushed in this bot lane is already. This keep is quivering. Now going to be able to turn their attention to the top as well, open up that lane, and once they get level 13s, they might even be able to pressure the boss. Very, very strong start here for Drop Dead Gorgeous on this map. Siege coming in. Bot is going to actually be ignored, so the Spider could definitely threaten keep their top fort goes down. Dragon's Breath, not going to catch anything. 5v5, actually 4v5. Leoric is in the middle, waiting for the Spider to come up. Big cocktail there, getting some stacks, but still only 4 stacks for Greymane so far. Not going to get it done. Silence coming out, trying to just zone them off, make it uncomfortable. There's a big stun. Now trying to dive in onto Trent is Tychus, as well as a Nubarak. The Cocoon was there onto Lucio. Lucio now out. There's a big silence. Chromie going to go down. Trent is so low. There is not a sound barrier yet for 5 seconds. Fabre, though, now getting turned around on. March of the Black King comes in. Does get some damage onto Fabre, but Fabre still alive. Fabre taking out that Web Weaver, but Bot Keep now is going to fall. Web Weaver takes it out. Mid keep already very weak. So while they managed to win that fight and get Chromie up top, just that double wave allowed so much value on the side of Drop Dead that they're fine losing Chromie. They'll be able to recover from that pretty quickly. Leoric still pushing in this top lane. 110 gems on the side of Game Freaks. Now we're in a situation where Muradin doesn't have to be the one to turn in. He's the most likely one to turn in. There's a time trap coming in once again. Seichel showing where he is. Hanzo kind of in the back, but right now this is a situation where Seichel may be a little bit far out. Gonna get some chunk damage here from Tychus. Here comes the healing from Stukov. Third Wind gonna kick, try to get that healing. Third Wind, such a good talent as far as Muradin. Basically makes it impossible to push him out of lane. He almost never has to back, except for mana. But the fight looks like it's going to take place up here. Stukov joining Fabre, already getting focused down. Fabre so low. Here comes March of the Black King, going to secure the kill onto Greymane. And now this is starting to go from bad to worse for Game Freak. Spooky Ghost trying to get out, slowing down Zombie Chris. There's the Temporal Loop onto Mayog. Mayog going to take a ton of damage. Zombie Chris doesn't get behind the wall, neither does Stukov. And that is 3 kills for the price of 0. And now Big Wiz actually running in, trying to pick up the gems and back off. They're down to 89 gems. Seichel, once again, having to be the one to turn in. But now 44 gems, so they only need 16 more. There's so little map vision on the side of Game Freaks. It's going to allow a boss push up here. So Leoric and Tychus looking like they're going to... Actually, Tychus now coming up top to join the boss killing party. Meanwhile, Seichel actually finally going to get these 50 gems in. Leoric going back and forth goaltending, but just happens to move up just as Muradin comes in. A little bit of bad luck there. Not going to be able to get as much value off this boss. This is the first Web Weaver phase for Game Freaks of the game. We'll see what they can do with it. We'll see how Drop Dead chooses to defend. Bot lane is so pushed in that a Web Weaver actually won't get much value. And it looks like, they're going to try to collapse in onto Greymane here. Greymane going to try to mount up and get out. But here comes the slow into the Condemn. Tons of poke damage from Tychus, and down goes Greymane. And that is a devastating loss if you are Game Freaks right now. They still have to deal with this boss. The boss should go down before it can do too much damage. Hanzo will assure that. But they're not going to get any push value off this Web Weavers. And with Greymane down, they actually did lose a small amount of gems, but given that they weren't quite at 55 gems left over from the Muradin turn-in, 6 gems, now they have 45, 48, 49 gems, but that's it, and they need 6 more before they can turn in. Meanwhile, there are 61 gems in the pocket of Drop Dead. They could turn in right now if they wanted to. They're just going to wait, going to get it started up to 1. There goes the phase. Meanwhile, Bruiser Camp's being picked up, but they need to goaltend here. They need to recognize the situation. A Web Weaver here will be absolutely devastating, but they're going to give up the Web Weaver to get a Bruiser Camp into lane with all 3 lanes pushed. It's going to be a bit risky. We'll see if they can adjust. Good start onto the Bruiser Camp in mid. Going to get a really healthy push here in mid. And going to be able to take out Red's Bruisers pretty quick. So, Drop Dead Gorgeous playing this macro extremely well. Their comp is just working here. They're a very good team. Looking now, here comes the defense. We see a Nubarak Greymane up top, burning down that Web Weaver, trying to save top fort. But already 5 people pushing in. Mayog going to take a bit of poke from the Chromie, having to spread those heals around. Zombie Chris doing everything he can to just get some damage out, but with so many minions, with so many Web Weavers, it's just hard. Gelda jumping in, Blessed Shield, Temporal Loop onto Stukov. Here it comes. Mayog going to still be alive. Cocoon there on to Lucio, denying the sound barrier. Spooky goes setting up, trying to get towards Mayog. Mid-keep will fall here. Greymane in on the fight. Here comes Odin. They're going for this keep. And Mayog and Big Wiz are just so low. Stukov trying to get away. Stukov does drop. Zombie Chris, is he going to be able to get... He at least manages to get back to base. But this core is taking so much damage. Tychus and the Web Weavers are just absolutely chunking it. Fabre is going to drop here. And Drop Dead Gorgeous. Dominant game number 1 over Game Freaks. As they take the core. They look good doing it. Drop Dead Gorgeous going to win this game. A little bit of stall tactics coming in. A little bit of team fight focusing, but ultimately, it's going to be for naught. GG's, and we'll head to game number 2. We'll be right back. Oh, apologies. Forgot to unmute myself. So we are back. Nexus Gaming Series. This is going to be match 2 between Drop Dead Gorgeous and Game Freaks. Drop Dead Gorgeous took game number 1 in pretty dominant fashion, taking us to Brax's holdout for map number 2. This is a Drop Dead Gorgeous specialty. They have a very unique approach to this map. They like to do a lot of kind of unique things that other NGS teams, certainly in Division B, don't tend to do. You know, most teams will kind of default to that 4-1 split, but you will see a lot of kind of 3-2 splits from Drop Dead Gorgeous a lot of the time with a lot of poke. They love to bring in a chromie here, so it'll be an interesting draft. It'll be great to see what they do. Jumping into this set, as we talked about, both of these teams kind of on the outside looking in as far as the playoff standings. Now, both of them hadn't played as many games yet. This is Drop Dead Gorgeous' 5th set. This is Game Freak's 4th. If Drop Dead Gorgeous gets a win here, it will move. You give them 3 points. It will move them up better into the standings, much closer to that critical playoff spot. At this point, Game Freaks, they just got to find a way to stem the tide. They can't give up. They can't give up a loss. They need to at least get some kind of points out of this. And they're going to start with a Lucio pick. Very safe pick on the map. Very strong pick on the map. For context, if Drop Dead Gorgeous right now had 8 points, they would be 3rd. If they added 3 tonight. If they only got 1 point, they'd still be in 5th. So it's very tight between 3rd place and even all the way down to 9th, where you basically go from 7 points to 4 points, with Amazing and Divine 9 currently sitting at the top. So, very critical series. Drop Dead definitely wanted to close it out, and this is a comfort map for them, to say the least. They will do that split. Going with the ETC first out of the gate, and there's the Chromie, which I expected. It's a very strong hero for them. They do a lot of good things with it, and on this map specifically, they use it quite effectively. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens here. It's going to be interesting. 2 picks to come. You're going to need really something pretty strong here in terms of a solo laner. But even then, you might want to consider finding ways to 3-2 split yourself. Against the Chromie, it's very hard to push 4 versus 3 on this map. You need to get really good damage out. I mean, if they had something like a Morales called Dan, that could work, but with Lucio already picked, I don't expect the Morales. So we are going to see a Sonya and a Sylvanas. Now that I like, because Sylvanas can actually rotate reasonably quick using the Howling Banshees, move up to the top lane and help out Sonya into the 2. And Sonya's good because this suggests something like a Zagara that's going to hard push top and just constantly split. Sonya does well into that. Especially with the Genji ban, I would expect Drop Dead to move towards something like that Zagara. But we'll see what happens here. Anubarak hover. Anubarak band. Could that be... There's no... No, it can't be Cho'Gall. It can't be Cho'Gall. Could it? Could it? I doubt it. I think they're just banning Anubarak because it's a strong tank onto Chromie. It gives them a lot of dive. It gives them interrupts from Mosh. I can't imagine we're going to see a Cho'Gall. Kind of hope we do, but yeah. Neither team really denying any global. No one taking global yet. Global can be strong on this map. You could see a Dahaka do very well. I mean, it could even go into the Sonya reasonably well in the top lane. I wouldn't mind to see a Dahaka, actually, on the side of Drop Dead. I don't think Game Freak can go into it. Might be a decent ban. What are they banning? It is the Mathiel. That could actually set up a Cho'Gall. No joke. That like, Anoob's banned, Greymade's banned, Mathiel's banned. I doubt they could even go to a Karazim. If they have a Cho'Gall in there, okay, they're not gonna go Cho'Gall. Rip the dream, rip the Cho'Gall dream. But Zagara Stukov. So there's that Zagara. And there's Stukov, so they have a very, very good defense with ETC, Chromie, Stukov. They have Zagara. Now they need to get a roamer. Someone that could roam quick would actually be, potentially, Falstad or Dahaka. I think both of those would be strong picks. Give them a global. Falstad they would be a little bit squishy with, but they would also have the Mighty Gust. Dahaka could be strong, but it depends on kind of what tank we see picked up. They're going to have to grab a tank, and presumably some type of range damage dealer. And it's hard. What do you pick into Chromie? You got to pick something pretty sturdy. Joanna and Gul'dan. Okay, so there is the Gul'dan. There is the Gul'dan coming out. The Joanna is Zeratul. So that is a perfect roamer. Drop Dead Gorgeous. I'm pretty sure that when they draw up their draft of what they want on this map, that they literally just got all 5 picks they wanted. Because that is a very strong draft, especially with how they can play this map. Drop Dead, I think, aced this draft. I think they got everything they wanted exactly how they wanted it. And I really like what they have. I think the Gul'dan just, he can't outrange Chromie. And so it's going to be a very difficult play. But Drop Dead Gorgeous, now with the portrait synergy, the portrait panda synergy. Coming into this map, they're in a very, very strong position to close out this series and get 3 points. So let's see if they can do it. It'll be interesting. My fear is, okay, so if you have Gul'dan in the bot, you can rotate the Sylvanas. You can rotate Sylvanas, so they can counter the 2-3. I mean, they could even just leave Gul'dan, Joanna in bot lane and bring Lucio Sylvanas top, and they could counter the 2-man push with 3 people and just wave clear with Gul'dan, because Chromie doesn't have enough siege damage. That actually may be the best way to handle it. But we'll see as we move into map number 2, Drop Dead Gorgeous. Looking to close out this series. Going to jump to this. Trent on Zagara. We're going to have Pugs Not Drugs on Zeratul. Chaos, once again, on Chromie. Unitas on Stukov and Gilda. Going to be on the ETC. And on the right-hand side, Game Freaks, we have Sechel on that Joanna. Mayog on Lucio. Big Wiz going to be on the Gul'dan. Bray, Sylvanas on... And then Zombie Chris on Sonya. So here we go. We'll see where this goes. Zeratul initially going to come down bot, but again, there's the gank potential. I think they were expecting the 3-2, so Sylvanas is already top, maybe looking to pressure that Zagara. Zagara already putting a creep tumor down, though. We'll see Fabre in that bush. Sonya does not have Whirlwind yet to do anything with it. But here comes Zeratul, rotating up towards the top. Meanwhile, Chromie setting up, pulling up the talents here. Zagara already getting pressured in a bit. Zeratul looking for the flank. Now, Zeratul did go that stacking regen globes build. Just hanging out in the bush, saying hi. Looking for the opportunity to get on Sylvanas. Maybe has found it. Here we go. Pugs Not Drugs. Lands the Singularity Spike. Has the follow-up and gets the kill. Well done, Pugs Not Drugs. And that's a great start for Drop Dead Gorgeous. That's everything they could want and some. As now Sonya having to deal with 2 people up in this top lane, while Sylvanas in the death penalty box. Should be back up soon, but that should allow certainly top to head over to Drop Dead Gorgeous out of the gate. And then set up the threat of a Zeratul rotation coming in. Great start. And this is one of the risks with the Chromies. If you get pushed back to your gate, it can get hard. But doing a good job, Sechel pushing up, getting the heals from Lucio, dodging Chromie shots. Working out fairly well. Zombie Chris now getting chased by Puck's Not Drugs. Puck's Not Drugs turning around with the slam build. Gonna get quite a bit of chunk damage here. Joanna capping the bot point. Top currently uncaptured. Zagara going to cap it. Here comes ETC trying to contest. Joanna coming on. Joanna's just very hard to move off the point. Good Dragon's Breath, getting some good damage onto Mayog. Mayog in that healing form. Right now playing a little bit with ETC. And there's a big power slide from Gelda. Joanna blowing the Iron Skin, trying to get away. Still taking some poke damage, but that's going to be bot moving over. Meanwhile, Zombie Chris up on top grabbing. Fabre is a bit low, needs to be careful. Zeratul coming back up onto the rotation, looking to cap top point. And here, we're just seeing Joanna taking a regen globe, denying ETC those prog rock stacks. Meanwhile, though, Ancient Spear managed to collect Zeratul, doing quite a bit of damage. So, slight advantage right now in the top lane. Zeratul gonna rotate down. This is how you work this map. You look for where is you don't have an advantage, then you just don't press that side of the map. But right now, it looks like we could see some channel points as ETC gonna have to leave here. And it looks like Game Freaks has actually managed to weather the storm. They found a way to kind of stall out long enough, take away health for enough time, and they're dodging Chromie. So it's working out. Now Zeratul, though, going to rotate over to this bot lane. There's a big power slide on the Gul'dan. Face Melt going to try to get the separation, but it was actually a very good condemn. Allowed the Face Melt to not get on a Big Wiz. Finally, the point's neutralized, but that's already 78% for Game Freak, so bit of a lead towards them. Time Trap onto Joanna. There's another Dragon's Breath. Just going to take out the shield. ETC, big power slide onto Big Wiz. Corruption coming in. Now, we did see the Corruption build, which, given how pokey the comp is, can make a bit of sense. But up in the top now, Fabre not going to get out. Puck's Not Drugs going for the kill, but now here comes Sonya on the chase. Sonya, good body blocks there by Trent, making sure Zeratul can get away. And Zeratul does just that. But meanwhile, bottom point is captured. And Joanna, I think they're going to get 100%. They do. 100% to 0 Zerg Wave. And that is going to be top. But Puck's Not Drugs taking out Sonya. Playing like a madman at the moment. Doing good work. Using that psionic strength to just stack the damage. And so, no Zerg Wave on bot. This is going to force a rotation top. Zeratul going to head bot to be the opposite soaker for the time being. Trent low on mana, not going to be able to do much. This is a chance for Game Freaks to get some value. They leave Gul'dan bot to handle the soaking. Needs to be careful of that Zeratul, but they do have the Sonya and the Sylvanas. So they can get a lot done with this Zerg Wave if Sylvanas is able to get onto this fort. So far hasn't done it. And the fort is shooting the Ultralisk. If I'm Fabre, I'm thinking I gotta do everything I can to silence that fort as long as I can. Joanna trying to pressure up. Excuse me. Sorry, I had to sneeze there. Wanted to mute the mic. Wasn't able to get it muted before the first, but, despite having the Sylvanas, Fabre did not really step up and silence the fort very well. Now Gilda power sliding in to focus onto Zombie Chris. He does have the super slow from Stukov. Chromie just somehow hits Fabre in the back line. That's one of those, like, oh, come on, man moments. But if you have 100 to 0 Zerg Wave in the early game with the Sylvanas and you don't get the fort, that's really bad. That is a situation that I think Fabre needed to play a bit more aggressive, get that fort silenced, and then let the team play up underneath it. Especially with Zagara low and having to back. And I think they played that too passively when they really do have an early game comp whenever you have a Sylvanas. So, going to be interesting to see how Game Freaks adjust, because the later this game goes, the more value Zagara will get with the split push, but the less it'll get in team fight, really. There's a temporal loop onto Sonya, trying to peel the team out. 4v3 up in the top. Here comes the Siege camp. specifically the fire bats, gonna put the armor down on this fort. This fort could take quite a bit of damage. There is the silence onto Sylvanas, but Sylvanas eating a dragon's breath, now having to back off. And now Pug's Not Drugs trying to get in onto Fabre, doing some moves, get some damage onto Mayog, but Fabre gonna be able to get out of there. But these fire bats are chunking the fort at the moment. They do finally go down, but that fort is still standing. Meanwhile, Zagara actually not doing particularly well in the lane against Gul'dan. Gul'dan able to do a lot to all the summons that can come out. Drop Dead Gorgeous, though. Slight XP lead. Could let them get 10 first. Base melt onto Sechel, trying to push it back. There goes Pug's Not Drugs onto the back line. There's the big power slide. Trying to get on the Mayog, but the turnaround damage is big onto Gilda. And now Gilda just running for his life. Gilda low, but going to be able to get away. Stukov spreading those heals. Here come the beacon phase. Let's see what happens. This is you know, a very important game for both teams here. We'll see. Silence dropping, trying to zone it out. Here comes Sonya with the Ancient Spear. Temporal Loop, though, onto Sonya. Sonya a little bit low on health there. There's the super slow. Sonya is so low, and Sonya is going to drop. And now Zeratul on the back line, trying to get on the Fabre. But that could be enough to give quite a bit of channel strength over to Drop Dead Gorgeous. They do have level 10s. We do see the Flailing Swipe. Obviously, we've seen the Temporal Loop already, taking advantage of the lack of cleanse from Lucio. There is Zeratul going with the Might of Narazim. Actually, now turning on to Fabre, using that to get the blow up with the double slash. Pug's Not Drugs is just playing out of his mind at the moment. Taking a look at his kill count. Already 3 kills and 2 assists, so participating in every kill so far, and getting some just completely by himself. Pug's Not Drugs playing very, very well. But Gul'dan has done a good job keeping Zagara at bay on bottom, but now here comes Zeratul looking perhaps for some Fell Flame Barbecue. Looking up top now, Sechel poking in. This is a 4v3. Zeratul now going to rotate back up to the top. Not going to go for that Gul'dan kill. Mayog in the back, taking some poke from Chromie. There goes a leap onto the back line, trying to get onto Chromie. Flailing Swipe comes in. Big zoning mosh. Now Zombie Chris in a little bit of an awkward spot here. Lucio's going to go down. Fantastic mosh there from Gelda. Pug's Not Drugs, though, needing to back off. There's the Wailing Arrow. Zagara using the Nidus Network to come up top now. It's a 5v4. Corruption coming in. Corruption quest almost done, not done yet. We do see the Horrify, Blessed Shield, Sound Barrier, Wailing Arrow, and the Leap. The Leap to try to get onto that Chromie. It almost worked there, but a fantastic mosh by Gelda prevented the chase and led to a turnaround kill onto Lucio. Sonya having to back up. There's a big slash onto Unitas. Unitas getting the Horrify. What a fantastic Horrify from Big Wings. And now Gelda's in a lot of trouble. Gelda trying to get away. Sechel all over this. There's the silence onto the tower. They're not going to chase further. They are going to get the fort. Meanwhile, Zagara has gone down to the bottom. They're going to kill this Nidus Network, but Zagara is going to take this fort. 1-for-1 trade. And that's actually going to benefit Zagara in the long run, opening up that bot lane for some serious flip pushing. They're chasing Chromie everywhere. There comes the timeout. Sound Barrier, though, going to make sure they get away. Good escape. But a great kill onto Stukov there. They did lose a fort in the process, though. So, still the experience lead. And actually, Big Wiz was too slow to get out. Got chased down by Zeratul and ETC. Now the boss is proc. Pug's Not Drugs, and he didn't get away. Pug's almost taken down by the boss. That was very close. Gonna be able to get away. Meanwhile, though, here comes a rotation, looking like they might try to get Zagara. Zagara does have the fort to fall back to. Good communication. Trent dropping back, just getting away. Moving the Nidus Network up top. And going to be able to now start pushing in the top lane. Meanwhile, here comes the engage on bottom. Sonya leap into the back line, finds Chromie, getting some good damage out, but Zeratul turning it around just as hard. Zombie Chris not getting the healing needs, finally does. Going to be able to get out of there. And it seems like Zombie Chris is being a little bit too eager with these leaps right now. He's leaping onto Chromie, and that's great. If there was follow-up from Joanna, like the Bless Shield or a Condemn, it would be fantastic, and walks into a time trap and just gets deleted. Here comes Sechel onto the backline, Horrify onto Chromie. The Chromie is the focus, but Pug's Not Drugs doing a good job zoning. Big Wiz trying to get that damage out there, but level 13's picked up. Zeratul has not picked his 13 talent yet. Seichel gonna back. Double blink onto Fabre. Gonna be able to back away. Ooh, there's the Vorpal Blade. Excuse me. Thought it was done. He was not. Puck's not drugs. Now, keeping the pressure on as Zagara comes in. Meanwhile, in all of that, Big Wiz getting picked off in the bottom. And that's a 100-0 Zerg wave, and with the fort already down top and Zagara getting a healthy push here, this could be quite a bit of siege damage. First Ultralisk does go down. There's a Temporal Loop onto Sylvanas, looking for the kill. Sound Barrier has to be blown. There's ETC coming with a big mosh, and that is going to take out Sonya. Joanna silenced as well, going to get away. Sylvanas goes down to a combination of Pugs Not Drugs and Chromie, going in. Seichel trying to do everything he can to zone it out. There's a big power slide onto Big Wiz, trying to make something happen. Doesn't, but this keep will go down. Drop Dead Gorgeous, starting to snowball this map a little bit. I don't think they can core here, but they can certainly do quite a bit of damage. Pugs Not Drugs using the blinks, getting into the back line, getting quite a bit of damage on the Seichel. Seichel gets taken out as well. Chromie and Zeratul are just on the same page, and that may be enough to let them end the game. Maybe. They do have 16s. They're sticking around. Okay, now they're starting to back up. Sonya leaping in. The leap gets interrupted by the time trap. Horrify locks out Unitas, but because of that time trap, Unitas was not going to be caught out by the Sonya, and with Joanna dead, there just wasn't any CC. And so it just seems like Drop Dead Gorgeous is a lot more organized in these fights. Chromie and Zeratul are always getting on the same target, and they are blowing that target up, and it's been exceptional. It doesn't seem to be that communication on the side of Game Freaks. It seems like when Zombie's going in onto the backline to try to get on Chromie, he's going in onto a target by himself. Gul'dan is onto a completely different set of targets. And it's just without that follow-up there on the leap, like, yeah, you can get on Chromie, yeah, you can do a lot of damage, but you're not actually going to get the kill. And if you don't get the kill, the turnaround potential with that Chromie, with the Zeratul, and even with the Stukov, who can just burst heal up all of that damage out of the gate, you're not going to do well. Sonya working on this bruiser camp. Joanna acting as an anchor. They are going to see it. They're not going to be able to invade. Zagara is pushing up in the bottom. Sylvanas having to deal with this top camp. Looks like we're going to see a rotation top. They're not really defending bot at the moment, which is interesting. A little bit of, it seemed, confusion about what the best play is on the side of Game Freaks right now, as they're kind of just rotating around and not really doing anything with their time. And now Zagara pushing up onto Sylvanas. Sylvanas actually a bit worried about a gank potentially. Joanna hanging out in the mid. Sonya going to try to scout that gank. Now coming up top. But Sonya's going top to try to get Zagara down. Meanwhile, in the bot, the push is coming in. Chromie doing quite a bit to scare away Big Wiz from defending. Now, Big Wiz has finished that quest, so when he can get 16 with the Ruinous Affliction, it's going to do quite a bit. But here comes the leap, trying to get onto Zagara. Trent using that creep to move a bit quick, but that should go down to poison damage, and does. The rotation was coming up top, trying to put... Ooh, there's the Temporal Loop, trying to get onto Sonya. Big chunk damage, flailing swipe, separating out Sonya. Here comes the Condemn onto the backline. Big Wailing Arrow. There's the Sound Barrier, gonna keep Sonya alive. ETC gets the Power Slide, but only managed to collect Big Wiz. Lucio then walks into it, but Unitas could go down here. Unitas is so low. Now Fabre having to back up a bit. Zeratul all over the backline, manages to take out Sylvanas. Now Chaos, though, eating so much Ruinous Affliction damage, having to blow the timeout, cleansing that poison damage for the time being. Stukov is low. Chaos is low. They need these kills on the side of Game Freaks. They are going in for them. Pugs Not Drugs, though, looking for the chance to get onto a target, trying to get onto Lucio, misses the Singularity Spike, and there goes Chromie. There goes Stukov. And that is the opening Game Freaks needs to try to get back into this game. They are going to try to move on to the boss. They need to be a bit careful here, though. They need to give time for Lucio to heal up. Pugs Not Drugs, gonna move down here. Potentially could look to try to just blow up Lucio if he steps out. Here comes a rotation. ETC's gonna try to Power Slide Face Melt onto this boss to steal it. Zagara has channeled both points. And so here it comes. Blessed Shield should be used here. No, it doesn't need to be used. ETC did not play aggressive. They were waiting for everyone to come up, but now Seichel in a bad spot. Pugs Not Drugs all over. Now ETC Good job waiting out the Iron Skin. Here comes the big leak. Trying to get the turret. There's the Blitz Shield. Zeratul is so low, but oh my goodness. Seichel getting taken out by the Power Slide. Gelda trading 1 life for 1 life. But now Trent on the chase goes to 4. Probably didn't need the Horrify there, but it certainly got the kill. Gonna give them map control over to Game Freaks, but already 50% channel onto this. They have 2 catapults top. Sylvanas needs to go back and handle that. Sylvanas is actually working on the camp. No one is clearing base. There's Gul'dan. Okay. Gul'dan now has that Ruinous Affliction. Only just now picked it. Could have picked that talent earlier. Probably could have gotten a lot of value with it in the last couple fights. Certainly could have got value with it on boss. But just picked it up. Ruinous Affliction going to do a lot of damage with that level 1 quest done. But now we're seeing Game Freaks, rather than push with the boss with Sylvanas, they're trying to just get these Fire Bats. Now, their Zerg Wave is going to be top, and that's good, because then they don't have to worry about catapults. But it is still a 50% Zerg Wave that's going to come in to this bot lane. Now, temporarily distracted by the boss, Drop Dead Gorgeous going to have to clear that up, but they could make something happen. This is a full Zerg Wave with Sylvanas. We are seeing Zagara set up for defense. Here comes the rest of Drop Dead Gorgeous. This is a critical defense for them. ETC does have the Mosh. Every ultimate up except for Horrify, which is now up. They're going to have to watch the Leap Horrify combo, potentially. The fort, or the keep is silenced, and it is dropping so quick. There's a big power slide. Gilda on the backline. Didn't use the Mosh there, but now starting to get a bit low. Needs to get the healing, but the Ultralisk starting to move towards core. There's a Horrify that separates out Zeratul into the leap, and Zeratul goes down. Sound Barrier, though, blown without Seichel in it. So now, oh, Fabre is so low. There's a huge power slide. Gonna take out Sylvanas, and Gilda may have just saved the game. Zombie Chris trying to move in towards the core. Lucio trying to get everyone healthy. They are turning their attention over there. Gilda is so low. Gilda managing power slide back into the base. Trent is also low, but the shields are still up, and now it looks like Zombie Chris could go down, and it could be Game Freaks may have just thrown there by choosing to stick around. Big Wiz now in a bad position, just trying to move on to the keep, do whatever it can, using the corruption, getting some real damage there, but Big Wiz not going to be long for this world. At this point, I actually like delaying the kill onto Big Wiz just to give the staggered death, and that death is staggered by a full 20 seconds. Meanwhile, bot keep did go down, and so Game Freaks may have just let Drop Dead off the hook there. Fabre getting picked off by ETC was bad, but then without that extra damage, they really didn't have enough damage to push core there. Sonya stuck around, paid for it with her life, and then because of that, Big Wiz wasn't able to mount up, didn't leave, and so, you know, you trade map control for 14%, but now you have no keep, so Sylvanas constantly going to have to be clearing up catapults. You need to get these camps into their lane. Already top being pushed up. ETC checking out this top Firebat camp. Will be up soon. Fabre, though, having to push bot. Here comes the engagement. It's going to be a fight over this Firebat, and it doesn't look like Game Freaks wants to fight it. And it doesn't look like Drop Dead wants to fight it either. In fact, Drop Dead might be turning their attention to their friendly Firebat. And heading down, they will clear up the Bruiser Camp bot. Bruiser Camp top will be cleared. Seichel starting the Firebat camp. So both teams really playing around each other. No team, you know, wanting to fight just yet, but we do see Zeratul going with that effectively full rewind on Twilight Falls. We do see Piercing Sands now, so that could allow Chromie to do really good damage to the backline. Bio Explosion Switch and Torbus going to be picked up here. Indestructible, Demonic Circle, so trying to go for Unkillable. Bonus track, Bolt of the Storm, Ignore Pain. Very safe talent choices at 20, and I do like that choice from Game Freaks, because they have looked okay in the team fights lately. Both teams scouting out this boss, both a little bit worried, but the difference is time is on the side of Drop Dead Gorgeous. They have the keep in the bot lane that's preventing those catapults from spawning. Demonic Circle back under the core. And someone needs to clear up these catapults here for Big Wiz. Or, excuse me, for Game Freaks. They are going to channel a bot point. Meanwhile, we're going to see Drop Dead Gorgeous move up to the top. These catapults are getting close to core. A couple danger pings there. I mean, they could leave 4 people down here. As it looked like there's maybe an attempt at a bush party, but ETC now moving on to the point to cap it, has neutralized it already, and no one going to step up to slow it down. So that is going to be capture progress over to DDG. Meanwhile, Catapult onto the core, but going to get cleaned up by minions this time. But they're doing a good job sniping those catapults for now. But they are going to have to be cognizant of this bot lane. Now, the Zerg wave definitely favors Drop Dead Gorgeous here, because the Zerg wave top lane is going to move straight onto Game Freak's core. Drop Dead has a keep in the Zerg lane wave for Game Freaks. And actually, once again, they're a little bit faster in the rotation, and that's going to win them, you know, not much, 8% capture projects. Meanwhile, Pugs Not Drugs just hanging out in the back, looking for an opportunity to gank. Knows a rotation has to come. Pugs Not Drugs needs to be a bit careful here. Is invisible, and now starts to move and show Zombie Chris potentially getting baited here. Gets called away. Good idea. They are going to capture this bot point. 2% progress, once again, rewarding the faster capture. Sylvanas now, though, having to back. So this is the point that this is the point that Drop Dead Gorgeous will play aggressive. They will move on towards this bot side. Now, Zagara can join this fight with the Nidus Network. Here comes Zombie Chris trying to defend the point. Condemn going to be used. Not getting any value. Zeratul still hanging out, looking for a bad rotation. You know, he's not too far from anywhere. He can join a fight quickly enough, and this is something you see a lot from Pugs Not Drugs on Zeratul. He's very, very patient. And that's because, with this full rewind combo, he can easily one-shot Sylvanas or one-shot Lucio if they rotate alone. Now, Sonya going to be the lone defender bot. You could see Zeratul rotate down. And that is, in fact, what you're going to see as Zeratul now looking for Zombie Chris. And here comes the rewind combo. Sonya hitting the Ancient Spear, but Pugs Not Drugs all over it. There's the rewind. Temporal Loop going to secure the kill. Sonya goes down, but there's a big Horrify. Can they get the kill on Zeratul? Can they turn this around? They do. Now Gelda is in a bad position. Gelda separated from the team, trying to use the Mosh. Gets interrupted, though. Now Gelda trying to run away. Flailing Swipe going to be used. Seichel, though, has Unitas in a bad spot. Now there's the dagger. Unitas with... Oh, there's a big Mosh! The Mosh hits! The Mosh hits Unitas! Should be able to stay alive. No, Unitas does go down, but as does Sylvanas. Now they're turning their attention onto Gul'dan. Joanna is so low, 60 health, has to run away. Indestructible. Looks like he got blown or Iron Skin. I'm not sure which, but now Seichel in a horrible spot. Needed to just back there. If Seichel just went into a bush and backed, this was an even trade. Because of that, that is devastating. Devastating to Game Freaks, unfortunately. Drop Dead Gorgeous should be able to win this map now, honestly. That was a really good fight. That was a good blow-up by Pugs Not Drugs onto Sonya, but a fantastic Horrify from Big Wiz. Set up a great fight. They managed to get down Stukov. They managed to get down Zeratul. They lost Sonya and Sylvanas. If Joanna had just, like, went and hid in that bush and backed, I think they would be in a good place right now. But they're not. And it's because they don't have a tank on the map. And a tank that's a decent part of their wave clear. So this is going to be on Gul'dan to really defend this well. But they have 3 Katas in bot that just can't be ignored. So Gul'dan going to have to clean that up. Going to let the poison damage tick to wipe it out. But here it comes. This is the defense of the game. Joanna will be up soon, but they need to be careful. Demonic Circle is actually in a very aggressive position here. There's the Temporal Loop, once again on the Zombie Chris, but the shield was there. And actually, the turnaround damage with Gul'dan is very high. Now leaping onto the backline, finds Pugs Not Drugs. A huge Horrify comes out. Zombie Chris moving to the backline, and Drop Dead Gorgeous may actually counter throw here. Although there's the turnaround kill onto Sonya with a great power slide from Gelda. It is just back and forth. Ruinous Affliction is doing so much damage, much more than Stukov can heal. And with Zagara down now, it looks like Drop Dead Gorgeous trying to just back up and lick their wounds. Need to be a bit careful on the chase, though. There is the rewind combo from Zeratul. Seichel leading the charge, gonna back up, but a 1-for-1 trade. And this is just the game that won't end. Both teams defending, both teams have a lot of wave clear, both teams not doing a good job pushing. They're not doing a good job using the Zerg wave. And now, ETC getting a bit chased. There's the slow onto Seichel, taking the proc damage from Chromie. But they now want to play aggressive. and they are moving to take this bruiser camp. They're trying to funnel the team through that narrow choke point so corruption can get a lot of value. Good juke there. Ooh, temporal loop, but an unstoppable used iron skin. So temporal loop was attempted on the Sechel, but it's going to get stopped just by the iron skin. But meanwhile, Katas are on the core. The shields are down. We are going to see Zombie Chris be able to come back and get it, but 73, 68, 63, any more shots? 58, 58% on core. Not good. And that's going to give time for a boss to get started. Pugs Not Drugs, just trying to slow it down, focusing on the Sechel. There's the rewind combo. Iron Skin, though, going to be used to get through the flailing swipe. Sechel trying to move on to the point. There's a big leap. There's the sound barrier as well. And ETC gets deleted. This could be the opportunity for Game Freaks. They do get the boss. Now Unitas is going to go down. And my goodness, they've actually turned it around. They could do it. Now Trent, is he going to be able to get away? Does there the Ancient Spear? No, Zombie Chris gets taken away. But now there's Chromie. Having to use the timeout. Chromie does not have bye-bye. This is one dead dragon. And Chaos actually bored the team into walking away with the timeout. But Joanna already moving on to the core. Big Wiz coming in with the damage, but this is actually a straight base race. Zeratul has moved on to the core with catapults, and Zeratul may actually win this race. Oh my goodness! Zeratul going away. This is something that Pugs Not Drugs did to my team last season, and he did it. Pugs Not Drugs carrying there, knowing when to leave and when to push up with the catapults, and he did it. And that's something that they do on this map uniquely. And Drop Dead Gorgeous is just so hard to beat here. Even when you think you may have won the game. Next thing you know, Pugs Not Drugs on the core. Great win for them. Great win. So we're going to see if we can get an interview with Drop Dead Gorgeous. So we will be right back. All right, well, I'm joined by the captain and assistant captain, Pugs Not Drugs, and Gelda of Drop Dead Gorgeous. And let me first, pardon me, let me first just congratulate you guys on that big win. This was an important series, as far as moving towards playoffs. And you guys dominated map 1. I had a little bit of trouble in map 2, but managed to clutch it out with some big play there, Pugs. But let's start with game number 1. So you guys went straight into the Chromie. I know it's something that you guys like to break out a lot. You had a lot of good value. Walk me through what your plan was in draft. Did you get everything you wanted, or did you have to compromise, or what ended up happening? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, and I apologize. I did the same thing I did last match. Unfortunately, I started without unmuting you guys. So can you start over from the beginning there? I apologize.
Nice. Nice.
Map 1 draft.
Yeah.
NA production lol.
Chrome, we just like Chromie comps. They're pretty fun to run. They're not a staple for us, but it's something we just like to go to. But once they pick the double tank, the full double tank, Leo and Tychus were pretty obvious choices there.
All right. And kind of walking through that, you guys actually managed to get a double turn in. You did really good goalie defense. You kind of were in the lucky position after the first Web Weaver where you'd gotten enough picks that Muradin was carrying all the gems, so all you had to do was just say, hey, we're just gonna not let Muradin turn in. Yeah, everyone else on the team's holding 30 gems, but that's not enough. Is that something that when you try to go for these early pickoffs you try to set up, or was that more just a happy accident?
That's something that happens to us a lot when we play that map, when we play well, because we get those picks and like either they have no gems or like someone has picked up like a lot of them because they're the person it's accumulated on after that last fight, because it tends to just get to the point where there's a lot that need to be picked up. And so it's not something we really planned, but it just kind of happens to us a lot.
All right.
And
Right.
I think there, though, we were really doing a good job of goaltending against everyone because we didn't want to let those 30 gem guys turn in. And that was way better than we've done in a while, I feel like. So definitely better than our last Tomb game.
All right, so jumping over to Braxis. So I've had a chance to cast you guys on that map more than once. I've had a chance to play you guys on that map, and it seems like you guys, super secret strats. Apologies, really like to go that 3-2 style. You have the Chromie for defense, you have the Zagara for pushing, you have the Zeratul for roaming. And it works really well for you guys most of the time. It worked really well in the early game. Then things got sticky. What do you think happened? Like, what do you think happened in the late game to where you needed that kind of desperate, albeit incredibly heroic backdoor on the side of Pugs?
I think we use that strat because it just works, and we have this, like, we like that map. We have like a lot of strats prepared for that one and a couple other maps. But no one's really tried to do anything about that one yet, so we just keep picking it.
Mm-hmm.
But
in fairness, when we played you guys last year, I really wanted to ban Zagara, and I think we banned Romy. I can't remember. I was on misplaced alts at the time.
Got it.
I remember.
And you guys did the same thing, the beta team fight and then Zeratul backdoor. Fuckers.
Yeah, it's a fun strat. The early game went okay for us. They did a 2-3 also, and we were just a little bit worried about the Sylvanas. Like, looking back on it, after we drafted our draft, we're like, wait, like, did we just get a little too greedy and just go into it because we have fun playing this comp, or because we were a little nervous just about the Sylvanas in general if they got like one of the lead early, because it's not that great at defending, and we had the ETC instead of like a hero kind of like Johanna who can clear better. So we got a little worried, and that's kind of what happened to us. We made a misplay in our macro game, and once they got a keep, it was hard for us to really exploit the Zagara and Zeratul split pressure until the very end.
And I'll say a lot of that late game team fight that we lost in the boss, because we were doing fine. We were gonna get that boss.
Oh yeah.
But then they came in on us, and that was Leap. That Sonya Leap was fire.
What was Leap with Joanna with a sound barrier? It was it was the perfect engagement for them. Perfectly timed to steal the boss.
And I couldn't get the mosh off because of the Leap stun. It was nice.
No, they had really good, like, you had moments where the fight started, I'm like, oh, DDG just won the game because you picked off Sonya, and then, like, all of a sudden just the perfect Horrify comes in, and they turn around the fight hard.
Well, that's the thing about that composition, is it's not really great for team fighting at all, and we try not to team fight with it. We try to force like 5v4s or like town advantage fights.
Right, and try to go for the pickoffs and that.
Yeah, and just split pressure. Like, that's the whole point of that comp. And so, like, once they caught up, it's hard, you know what I mean? Because their comp was way better at team fighting than our comp.
Right.
And the Fears, that game, the Gul'dan did a really great job with his Fears that game. I just kept getting hit by them. Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, any shout outs before we go?
Shout out to our teammates, Trent, Chaos, and Unitas.
It's not Unitas, it's Unitas.
No, it's Unitas. It's Unitas.
Okay, because I said Unitas.
It is Unitas.
Okay, all right. All right. So you guys are trolling me. Cool.
No, people call him Unitas, like casters, and he gets so bummed.
I am a North American football fan, so I know how to pronounce it.
Oh, nice. He's gonna be stoked.
Yeah, he'll be stoked on that. Golden, what about you?
Shout outs to the teammates, like you said. Shout outs to the girlfriends once again. And that's all I got.
All right. Well, thanks for letting me cast this. I know it was short notice. We had to, as people saw on the stream, we had a last second change on which teams we were casting. But thanks for letting me cap off this doubleheader with a great Braxis holdout game. I am DB Smiley. You can obviously find me here at twitch.tv/dbsmiley. Follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/deathbysmiley, because DB Smiley is an old woman who tweeted once who apparently likes CSI. You can check out the Nexus Gaming Series, nexusgamingseries.com. We're about halfway through season number 3. So if you want to get in for season number 4, start looking to join. Get in the Discord. Start putting a team together. We hope to see you. Thanks again to Nexus Gaming Series for letting me cast. I've been having a lot of fun doing this. So just hit the follow button if you want to know when I'm going live. Follow me on Twitter, etc. And that'll be it. Thanks for watching, and have a great night, everyone.